Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about how you can build your personal brand as an intern. So basically, you might feel that when you go into an organization, you might not get any work to do because you are an imposter. Okay, so building off of the last video on imposter syndrome, this is about building up your character to other people. Now, sometimes in an organization and an internship, you will have a manager who will just give you work, and then that's fine. In other scenarios, you may not have that. And that's good in the sense where you're now learning how to build your own personal brand by yourself. Now, let's get something out of the way. When you interview, there's probably going to be a few people who interview you. You're not going to be interviewed by the whole company. So when you join a team and it has 10 people, most likely not everyone knows you. Even if you have a big social media following, they might not use social media. Okay, so when it comes to allocating work, they may say, okay, well, I need someone to work on this specific Azure networking thing. Who am I going to ask? Well, I know Anthony works on networking. I know Joseph works on networking. So this isn't like they're not including you because they're not thinking of you. It's just, it's a bit hard, right, for people to just think straight away, okay, I need to do all of this work that I have, all these deadlines, all these business critical things. They might not think I need to try and include the intern. So this is where you make that move and you ask them, hey, can I get involved? And what do you ask to get involved? Just as simple as asking if you can shadow. So asking to shadow basically means, hey, can I watch what you're doing? Right? Can I join the same call as you? Do you have any calls which are on this topic which I can join? Perhaps you choose stuff which you're more interested in and stuff you are more knowledgeable about, so then you can start contributing later on or earlier on. But it doesn't matter. As long as you start shadowing, you'll get a feel for what the role is. Okay, so once you start shadowing, perhaps this isn't a coding job, you watch someone code, you go through the setup with them. If it's a cloud solution architect internship or a role where you engage with a lot of customers externally, perhaps you just join a call and you hear what it's like talking between the two parties, so Microsoft and your customer or whatever the company is, right? And then from there, like that call will end. And then there may not be any discussions, but what I suggest doing is following up with your team member. If they have free time, maybe schedule a 5-minute chat with them, or just say, hey, can I have a quick 5-minute chat? Or schedule in some time later in their diary if you can go over things because they might be busy. And then from there, what you can do is you can ask them questions about the engagement. You can try to understand a bit more about the background because most likely the background isn't always just going to be established every single meeting, unless perhaps your team member does say, hey, we have this new intern here today, I would like to introduce you to them and stuff, and then they give more context, but they might not have time because it's you have high profile people, they might not really have time for these things in all situations. Okay, so you get more context, you're creating this like relationship bond, team bond with your other team members so that now they're more aware of who you are. Okay, apart from the team meeting, you might not have had the time to converse with them. Another thing, of course, you can just ask for a one-to-one meeting earlier on, but this I think is more productive because you get to easily just go straight into understanding the work and stuff. So from there, over time, what you might start to realize is there are things which you understand, which you can start to do, which your team members were doing. So for example, if a customer asks, hey, I need to be able to set up a firewall, or, hey, I need to be able to connect to my virtual machine without using remote desktop protocol. How do I do it? You might think, hey, I know how to do this. Or you might Bing it, or you might Google it, and you might see, okay, what you can use is Bastion or a jump host. And then you could say, okay, in the meeting, you could speak up and you could say it. You might want to check with your team members just before to see if what you're saying is factual, because you need to be careful sometimes when talking to customers and making sure you're giving the correct information, and you don't want to annoy any of your team members. So you might want to just message them or maybe discuss after if, hey, can you just send a bunch of resources to them in an email and you can validate this with your team member. It's all great ways for you to start getting involved. Over time, as you get more confident and your team members gain more trust with you, this is all about building trust with your team. They'll start to realize, hey, this person is actually good. I'm going to trust them with more stuff on their own. I'm going to let them do this demo. I'm going to let them make this code. I'm going to let them lead this code thing. I'm going to let them contribute here. And other team members will start to realize, and then when they don't have time, you'll be like the go-to person for this when they're not there. Or perhaps they just think you're better at certain things, because people have their strengths and weaknesses. It's normal. Okay, so they'll start to go to you, and this is great. So then you're creating your personal brand, and your personal brand, as Donna Sarkar says, is what other people think of you when you're not in the room. So by contributing in these small steps, by slowly getting used to it, eventually you're building trust with your team members. You're not just like going in straight away, being like, oh, this, and then you're losing trust straight away. You're building up slowly, so then they trust you, and then other people trust you, and then you get more work, and then it gets to the point where you have so much work that you wish you did not ask for any work in the beginning. I'm joking about that last point.
Stop it.
But you might start to realize that, wow, there was a time where I wish I had more work. This is how I actually got it. It started very small, but over time it snowballs. Okay, so that's my advice for building a personal brand as an intern when you're joining a company and you do not have any work delegated to you at the beginning. So I hope this works, and I hope it helps throughout your internships, and I'll see you in the next one.